Every day that goes by during training camp, there's another storyline that makes you stop and think about where this team is headed. And today is one of those days where we've got not just one, but two really interesting stories that say a lot about what's happening behind the scenes in Los Angeles. One of them gives us a rare look at what it actually feels like when an NFL player's entire life changes in a matter of seconds. The other reveals even more about the emotions, relationships, and mindset inside this Rams locker room as the season gets closer. And honestly, after hearing everything that came out today, I think a lot of Rams fans are going to see this team a little differently. Before we jump in, if you're enjoying the content, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jake, and this is Rams House Daily. The channel is still brand new, and our first goal is reaching 250 subscribers. So if you're a real Rams fan, you believe this team has what it takes to make a serious Super Bowl run, and you want to be part of this community from the very beginning, I'd love to have you with us. Trent McDuffie finally opened up about one of the biggest moments of his NFL career, and honestly, hearing him tell the story makes you realize just how brutal the business side of football can be. He shared everything during his appearance on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and the way it all happened honestly sounds surreal. He explained that just 2 days after the NFL scouting combine, he was simply going through another workout. Nothing seemed unusual. Then his Apple Watch started exploding with notifications. At first, he thought it was just one of his group chats getting out of control. We've all been there. So instead of checking it, he actually turned on Do Not Disturb because he wanted to finish training without distractions. Then something happened that immediately told him this wasn't just another day. His fiancée and his mother walked into the training facility. McDuffie said his first reaction was basically, "Why are you guys here?" That's when everything changed. Before his own agent even had the chance to reach him, the entire football world already knew the Kansas City Chiefs had traded him to the Los Angeles Rams. Imagine finding out one of the biggest moments of your professional career through non-stop notifications before hearing it directly from your own team. McDuffie admitted that, for a moment, everything stopped. He said it felt like the world froze while he tried to process what had just happened. And what makes the story even tougher is that this trade completely blindsided him. According to McDuffie, throughout the previous season, the Chiefs had repeatedly told his representatives that they intended to work out a long-term contract extension. He expected negotiations to take some time because that's how Kansas City usually handles these situations. But he never truly believed he'd be leaving the organization. He even referenced how the Chiefs handled Tyreek Hill's contract situation a few years ago, expecting something similar where negotiations might drag out before eventually getting resolved. Instead, whispers started surfacing around the combine about uncertainty surrounding his future, and only a couple of days later, he was gone. No warning, no conversation, no phone call beforehand. McDuffie admitted that hurt. He said a part of him wondered why nobody inside the organization simply picked up the phone. From his perspective, it almost felt like they just said goodbye without giving him the respect of a conversation. Naturally, his first emotion was anger. He said he was shocked, confused, frustrated, and trying to understand why everything unfolded the way it did. But then something changed almost instantly. He learned where he had been traded, Los Angeles, and his entire mindset shifted. McDuffie actually laughed while remembering his reaction because once he heard it was the Rams, he thought to himself, "I'm going to LA." For him, this wasn't just another destination. It was home. McDuffie grew up in Westminster, California, and later attended powerhouse St. John Bosco High School, one of the nation's premier football programs. Coming back to Southern California wasn't just another chapter in his career. It was a chance to return to where everything started. That made the transition much easier, but another huge reason he settled in so quickly was the coaching staff. He revealed that conversations with Rams head coach Sean McVay and defensive backs coach Jimmy Lake helped calm him almost immediately. And Jimmy Lake wasn't just another coach, he coached McDuffie during his college career at the University of Washington, so there was already a foundation of trust between them. McDuffie said those conversations helped him realize he couldn't spend energy holding on to the past. His attitude became simple. This happened. Now it's time to move forward as quickly as possible. That mentality has completely changed how he's approached this new opportunity. He described the Rams as a young team that's hungry to improve every single day. He said there's a noticeable commitment throughout the building to getting better, and that energy has made football fun again. One detail that really stood out was how he talked about the Rams culture. He praised the organization for putting real emphasis on recovery during training camp, giving players opportunities to take care of both their bodies and their minds instead of simply grinding nonstop. And those recovery periods have turned into opportunities for teammates to build genuine friendships. McDuffie said the defensive backs have been spending time together, playing cards, laughing, and getting to know each other away from football. He believes that's one of the biggest ingredients behind great teams, knowing the people you're fighting alongside every Sunday. That's something he feels is already developing inside this Rams locker room. He also mentioned reconnecting with Jalen Watson, another familiar face from his Chiefs days, which has made the transition even smoother. And he's now joining a defense filled with talent, including another Southern California product, safety Quentin Lake, who starred at Mater Day before coming to the Rams. On the field, reports from Loyola Marymount University have already highlighted McDuffie's playmaking ability during training camp, with multiple pass breakups and interceptions showing exactly why Los Angeles wanted a true shutdown cornerback. In many ways, the Rams haven't had a corner with this combination of youth, experience, and elite coverage ability since they traded for Jalen Ramsey during the 2019 season. Of course, McDuffie also brings something invaluable: championship experience. He spent 4 seasons with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and one of the NFL's most successful organizations, winning a Super Bowl and learning what championship standards look like every single day. That's exactly the type of leadership Los Angeles hopes will elevate an already talented defense. And perhaps the biggest twist in this entire story is that the long-term contract McDuffie expected to sign in Kansas City eventually became reality, just with the Rams instead. Los Angeles didn't simply trade for him. They committed to him as one of the foundational pieces of their future. Looking back now, McDuffie says what began with ignored Apple Watch notifications, an unexpected visit from his family, and a painful goodbye from Kansas City ultimately brought him exactly where he was supposed to be. He said he feels like he has his spirit back, his swagger is back, he's back home in Los Angeles, he's surrounded by teammates who make football fun again, and he genuinely cannot wait for the season to begin. Now, let's move on to our second story, because McDuffie actually revealed even more about that unbelievable day, adding details that somehow make the entire experience feel even crazier. During another part of the interview, he described just how surreal everything felt while trying to process the trade in real time. He told former NFL offensive lineman Taylor Lewan that throughout the entire offseason, he honestly believed Kansas City would eventually work out a new deal with him. That confidence is exactly why the trade caught him completely off guard. When Lewan brought up Tyreek Hill's departure from the Chiefs a few years ago, McDuffie acknowledged that he expected negotiations to take time, but never imagined they would end with him being traded instead. He once again described learning about the move through his Apple Watch while working out, and explained that neither his agent nor anyone from the Chiefs contacted him before the news became public. He called the entire experience surreal because everything unfolded so quickly that he barely had time to understand what was happening. But once he realized the destination was Los Angeles, the disappointment slowly gave way to excitement. Instead of focusing on what he had lost, he focused on the opportunity ahead. He credited Sean McVay and Jimmy Lake once again for helping him mentally reset almost immediately after arriving. Rather than dwelling on how things ended in Kansas City, he chose to embrace a fresh start. And based on everything we've heard coming out of Rams camp, that decision seems to be paying off. McDuffie has already been making plays in coverage, building chemistry with his teammates, and fitting naturally into Chris Shula's defense. The Rams believe they finally have the lockdown corner they've been searching for, while McDuffie looks like a player who has rediscovered his confidence after one of the biggest surprises of his career. He's also embracing the locker room culture. One of his favorite parts of joining the Rams has simply been spending time with the defensive backs away from practice, playing cards, talking, and building relationships that can translate onto the field. That chemistry might seem like a small detail now, but we've seen championship teams talk for years about how trust off the field becomes trust during the biggest moments on it. And now McDuffie gets his first opportunity to show Rams fans exactly why the organization made such a massive investment in him when Los Angeles opens the regular season against the San Francisco 49ers in Australia on September 10th. If there's one takeaway from everything McDuffie shared, it's that sometimes the toughest moments end up opening the best doors. Yes, the way Kansas City handled the situation clearly hurt him. He admitted that himself. But today, he sounds like someone who's genuinely excited about the future, fully invested in Sean McVay's vision, and ready to help bring another championship to Los Angeles. As Rams fans, that's exactly what you want to hear. You want players who are grateful to be here, who believe in the culture, who love competing with their teammates, and who are hungry to prove everyone right. Training camp is only the beginning, but if McDuffie's energy and attitude are any indication, this defense could become one of the biggest strengths of this football team throughout the season. Now I want to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway from everything Trent McDuffie shared? Were you surprised by how the Chiefs handled the trade? And how excited are you to see him wearing Rams colors this season? If you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to leave a like and join the conversation in the comments. And if you're a true Rams fan who believes this team can make a real Super Bowl run, subscribe to Rams House Daily. We're still a brand new community, and our first goal is 250 subscribers. We'd love to have you here from the very beginning. Until next time, take care, and as always, go Rams.